In question 3 for Unit 13, we'd like to find out how much we need to save each year so that when we retire we can have $50,000 a year in gross income. Actually, the first part of this question is exactly identical to the first additional question back in Unit 8. So let's just solve it again. Let's look at our retirement and see how much we need to set aside so as to have the $50,000 a year that we'd like. This is a standard guess and goal seek question. We guess that we need to start with, say, $300,000. Each year we'll take out $50,000 and we'll be earning 5% on our money, which means that any money we don't take out will be increasing at 5%. At the beginning of the first year of our retirement, we go to our bank account, which has $300,000, and we take out $50,000 to live on. This leaves us $250,000 in the bank. That money increases during the year because of interest, and at the end of the year it will rise to the original amount plus another 5%. The question is, can we continue this way, taking out $50,000 a year for each of the 20 years? And the answer is no. $300,000 is far too little. We run out of money after just 6 years. We'd like to run out of money just when we take out our 20th $50,000. So we'll use goal seek to set this amount down here to 0 by changing the amount we set aside at the beginning. Here's the same answer we got back in Unit 8 for the first additional question. If we set aside $654,266, take out $50,000 each year, and earn 5% interest on the rest, then the 20th time we take out the $50,000, our balance will just reach 0. Now, here's the new part of the question. How much should we be saving during 30 years before retirement to get the $654,266 that we need to retire on? Let's start a bank balance at 0. Here's what it is at the beginning of each year and the end of each year. And here are the same years, 1 year later, 2 years later, and 3 years later. But remember, these are the 30 years before retirement. These numbers count the 20 years of our retirement. Each year we set aside a certain amount of money. How much? We don't know. So let's try setting aside $3,000 and seeing if it's enough. If we do set aside $3,000 each year, then each year we'll have what we had at the end of the last year plus an additional $3,000. And at the end of each year, we'll have whatever we had in the bank so far, plus the interest we earned during the year, which again is 5%. We'd like to look at this over 30 years. So we need to scroll down a little bit further. And we find that after 30 years, we have $209,000, which is not enough. We'd like to have $654,266 to retire on. So let's goal seek. We'd like this final amount to be $654,266, and we'll get it there by changing the amount we invest each year. The answer is that we need to invest $9,379 each year in order to get enough to retire on, so that over the 20 years of our retirement, we'll exactly use up the money. Notice that taxes do not come into this question. We asked about gross income, and we'll have a gross income of $50,000 each year. Of course, we'll have to pay taxes on that.